you're trying to trick your opponent into thinking that you're like a street thug almost, and that makes sense. But you're really a fucking jiu-jitsu master. Yeah. It's like sort of like a.
That's just the way you should fight.
Yeah,
I believe. It's like that's when I grew up. I'd seen people fight. I got into fights, and I seen the swag, if you will.
Yeah.
the guys playing this role. Not even that they're playing. That's real life. That's how it is. And you're like, wow, that's how you whoop someone. So when they get into a fight, I was like, wow, that's how you whoop. This is how you do that.
Yeah.
This is how you do that. I see it. You know what I'm saying? This guy's fighting this guy, and he's fighting this guy, and he got with his girlfriend, so he fought that guy, and their cousin beat up him. So, and every time we're like, whoa, mother, this side of town, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Right.
And it was real ghetto and crazy, and I was like, really like, and I, not even like taking it in like that, but then when it was my turn, it was like, what, fools, Stockton, whoa, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's just kind of like how it's done, just like how an armbar is done.
Right.
In jiu-jitsu, how it's straight punch and a jab.
That's just how the psychological part is done. Right.
And I didn't know that was psychological. Right. I went through the whole Ultimate Fighter. I was 21 years old. I left some hardcore stuff, like where I was at the time was like going to parties and bars with all the whole crew of homeboys and going, and not even me, but people I was with getting into fights, and now the whole team's fighting, and everybody's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So when I went into this fight house that I didn't want to be in, I'm like, why do I got to sit in the house? Because I was, like I said, I didn't have a choice. I was sent into a house by my coach and my bro, who I knew called the shot in the gym where I was growing up too.
Right.
So I'm like, they're like sending me off, like go to the fight house, and I was like, what? We made fun of the fight house together, Nick. I'm not going there. And he's like, I think you should go. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? And she was like, yeah, just go. And he's like, they pay for your medicals. I had no money there. He's like, they pay for your medicals. Go get your medicals done. Because every year I had to save money, and then or fight a bunch of times and pay my coach back for paying for my medicals. So they're like, go to the fight house, get your medicals, go until you want to leave and leave. Right. So then I'm like, okay. So I went. I got my medicals done. I went to the fight house. Walked in with intentions on leaving that day. Right. I just walked in just because I'm like, I'm here for my medicals. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I go into this house, and we get in there, and I'm sitting down, and I'm like, okay, here's the day. They're like, we're gonna go train and pick teams, and I'm like, well, before I go home, I should just tap all these dudes out and beat all their asses before I go home. Yeah. So when they win the show or do whatever, I can be like, I whooped his ass, I whooped his ass, and I whooped his ass. I'm coming for you. Because I knew I was coming, like, I don't know how I knew, but I was like, I'm going to get in the UFC without this house. Why do I go to the house? Nick and Caesar made fun of the show and me for my brother, because my brother was an established fighter. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or being established. It was happening. Right. And they were like, no. And then I had the same attitude, but they're like, hold up, little man. Go your ass on the show, get your medical, let's see where it goes from there. Yeah. I think it's a good idea. So I followed orders, I went there. And then when I was like, okay, let's go train with all these guys, I went train with them, murdered the whole house, tapped out everybody, except for Manny, if you out there. I tapped out, whooped everybody, and then we just stand up, I boxed everybody, and I'm like, you guys, and then we go home, and then they all pick rooms, and we all jump in the house, and then everybody goes to sleep at night because they like live some weird life style where it's like we trained and got done at 8, 9, 10, whatever, came home, everybody eats dinner and goes to bed. Yep. And I was like, what the I live with my brother, and at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, all the homeboys started showing up. Right. Everybody started, not even be at home, but all our friends started showing, and people are coming over, everybody's, doing their thing, and drinking, hanging out, and then we had mats and people start training, and 5 in the morning comes, and now we're crashing, and we're sleeping, then we wake up, we go train. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm like, everybody goes to bed, and I'm like, and there's cameramen sitting there, they can't go to bed until everybody's asleep. Yeah. So I'm sitting in this house, and the cameramen are sitting there waiting to get out of there. But I'm like, wait, you think we're going to sleep? We in it for the long run. And I would have left the house I would have left the house had I had a cell phone. They take your cell phone, your wallet, all these things.
No way.
Yeah, so I couldn't just like bail on the thing. But that was kind of like a reason to be like, fuck, if I leave, I have no way of getting home. I had no way, like, I got to ask to leave, and now I got to go through this process. Why do you want to leave? They're going to put the cameras on the drama. I'm like, fuck, I got to get out of here. You know what? I'll wait till tomorrow and see what happens. The next day, they pick our fights.
Right.
We go train, they pick our fights. And I toughed it out. Like, I'm not leaving tonight, but I'll probably leave tomorrow. The next day, they pick our fights. You're going to fight this guy, you're going to fight this guy, you're going to fight this guy. And I was like, well, fuck. Now I can't leave because they picked my fight, and I was going to look like I'm scared of dude.
Yeah.
And I can't be leaving the house having them think I left because I didn't want to fight him. I'll fight him, and then I'm dipping. You know what I'm saying? And then I had my first fight, and I beat dude, Robert Emerson. I fought him, and I beat him, and I was like, after you win a fight, it's like kind of like mission accomplished. You're like actually kind of content for
right.
So for a few days in the house, I was like, yeah, it's not so bad here, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of it, I had got into it with the whole house, and I like said, like, well, who did this? And woo woo, fuck everybody in here. Who wants their ass whipped, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I just seen everybody like bow down right there.
Yeah.
Like in there, like I just like knew. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, you guys are all. If I would have said that in my house, or somebody would have said it to anywhere I was at, oh, whoop everybody's ass in here. Like, you're either the man or someone steps up, like, you ain't gonna whoop my ass. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, how am I gonna leave when I'm the man right here? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
you knew that from floating that shit out there.
So I knew that. Okay, so what I'm getting at is that. Yeah. And then one thing led to another. And then it got boring again. I fought the next fight, and the next fight, and the next fight. I won the show. But I didn't even know at the time. I didn't even know until like probably 6-7 years ago. I had them fools like fucked up in the head from the beginning. Like in between practices, my brother had already told me to. He's like, go over there, don't get your ass whooped by none of the Ultimate Fighters, and work harder than everybody.
Yeah.
And that was like no problem because at home I'm already like working harder than everybody, kind of following Nick around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like working harder than everybody.
And it's amazing to me. Something I found through some research, and I don't know how right this is, so I want to ask you about it, was, that you and your brother basically got into jiu-jitsu because the guy would buy you a burrito, something like that?
Yeah. Hold on. What I was saying a second ago, though, I forgot. I wanted to finish. Yes, that's another story. Yeah. But what I was saying was about the psychological thing.
Yeah.
Is like everybody's like, it's a psychological mental fighter. I even said on a show, like, mental fighter. I don't even know what that means. When I said that, I listened to him, like, oh my God, turn this off. This is embarrassing me. I'm like, I don't know what that means. I'm cussing out. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. But I watched that and I'm like, wow. I didn't know what that meant. And it was mental the beginning. So I ran all of these people over mentally, psychologically, and all this stuff. And I had no clue that was even an option. That was even a martial art itself. You know what I'm saying? And that's just this thing you build with and live with. Like, I'm not like, and it's like I didn't have no plan for that. Yeah. And then I realized, I'm like, wow. And then I see people going in and try to act all crazy, fucking like calling the last guy I'm fighting. I'm like, this is like a big old strategy for you. This is a plan to act like that. And I'm like, that's how it is. Yeah. You know? So that psychological mental warfare stuff that people talk about, I'm like, wow. Did people learn about that before it's even happening? That's crazy. That's wild. That it's such part of your backbone that you didn't even think it was a thing. Like you were just always doing it. Were you a Muhammad Ali fan growing up? Well, I mean, I knew who Ali's the man number one, the baddest motherfucker, you know? Yeah. But same thing, like, until I got a little older, I didn't do my, YouTube came out, and then I started researching everybody. But obviously, Mike Tyson, Ali are like the guys. Exactly. And you I liked a lot of Mexican boxers too, like Fernando Vargas and Oscar De La Hoya and, Mayorga, all these guys were great, man. Right. So all those wars were just all that stuff was great.